All right, my niggas, we coming at y'all with this motherfucking Boruto theory. And really, I'm going to title this Isshiki's True Plot because I feel like we haven't seen the last of them, and I'm pretty solid with this one, dog. I was going back and forth between some other theories that I was trying to get going, and then I've ended up just proving them wrong the more I study this shit, right? But let's begin with what wasn't going to work in this whole Isshiki, Ten Tails, and Kawaki thing, right? So Jigen could never feed himself to the Ten Tails. And the main point of this is Kawaki's karma would have dissolved and Isshiki would be resurrected only to be digested by the Ten Tails. And that only aids a production of the Chakra fruit, not his own resurrection, which would have been good for Momoshiki. That's a little side note. But here, I say this because of this. So how Jigen was functioning was Isshiki Otsutsuki was still alive within his brain, controlling him, eventually giving him karma through, I guess, years, centuries of being within the motherfucker. So I'm saying that, let's say Kawaki has his karma markets at 100%. Isshiki now feeds himself to the Ten Tails through Jigen. It would only result in him dying because that karma mark on Kawaki would just dissolve, as we've seen it dissolve when Kashin Koji defeats Jigen, which allows him to, revive because he's not within the fucking belly of a beast. Now, I'm moving forward into this next little segment. He would have to be in true Isshiki form, have Kawaki with a karma mark, and then feed himself to Ten Tails in order to resurrect through Kawaki. So he would have to already be Isshiki. He couldn't be Jigen and do it. He would have to be Isshiki, feed himself to the Ten Tails, and then that would allow him to come back through Kawaki, because at that point, Kawaki would still have a karma mark. It wouldn't be vanished because he resurrected using Jigen's body. So Jigen's body had to go. That's good for Isshiki. As now we get into point number 2. Kashin Koji's fight actually benefits Isshiki and Amado, because if we're assuming Amado's, in on some shit, this whole thing was a setup, right? So Ishiki's real intention, as well as Amado's, was to sacrifice Jigen. Amado wins the trust of the Leaf while positioning himself close to the Trojan horse of Kawaki, who I believe Kara planted near the Leaf. This wasn't a whole setup of, someone's double-crossing it. Maybe, there was some type of traitors. Victor, we could say Victor was a clear traitor. He had his own intentions. But at the same time, I believe majority of this was a calculated plot to invade the Leaf Village and, take out some of their toughest opponents, being Sasuke and Naruto. So my third point, Isshiki could have always retrieved Kawaki if he really wanted to on his own, just from the fucking beginning of this whole thing, because we see him teleport through karma. Even Kashin Koji questions this. He's like, yo, what the fuck we doing out here if he could always just teleport to Kawaki? This shit would be all over. There would be no series if Jigen or Isshiki just teleports to Kawaki, takes him back to the fucking place, and they're like, all right, my nigga, we back on deck, dog. We back on schedule, homie. So this whole time, I'm believing this whole retrieval mission was staged, right? And it's staged to do a couple of things. To test the Leaf Village and its strength, because data is always being collected with all their battles. And here's some examples. So this is when the fucking vessel first goes missing, right? Al's, under pressure. Not Al, but Victor's like pretty much saying, let's just send an outer. We need more field research anyway. We need some more tech research anyway. Let's just send an outer. So Al being sent, and the Naruto versus Delta battle. So my theory on Delta is she could be on some Ex Machina type shit. She could possibly be like a walking, talking computer. And I say this because during her fight with Naruto, Amado was pretty much watching progress from his computer at home. He was pretty much reading the body and possibly even visualizing shit because of the whole little pod shit. He probably was studying Naruto's movements and all that during that fight. And also, my fourth point, only outers and unnecessary members of Kara have died so far. And that includes Victor, that includes Deepa. Now, Al, Garo, were sacrificed, and more likely than not, they were more field study cases to, study the battles of the Leaf Village, study the strength of the opponent that they were going to invade, or that they are invading, right? And although Victor had ill intentions and it was right for them to kind of X him out as far as the storyline has gone, he served his purpose as a legitimate investor in the Kara organization. And I say investor because unlike the Akatsuki, who were like a terrorist group who could be hired by nations publicly and go out and fucking destroy shit and earn income that way, the Kara organization had to stay low key. They couldn't go on missions for money. They had to fucking funnel it through the business of Victor, who was known to be like a medical, not guru, but like a medical tycoon. Like he was in heavy on the medical and scientific technology, being medical scientific technology. He was earning a lot of money like that and had a very popular company doing that type shit. So think of like having a motherfucker like Steve Jobs on the low working with the mafia type shit, and we're using Steve Jobs and Apple as a way to funnel money into our illegal conglomerate being Kara. And Kashin Koji, who was made, he's not, he walked away from his shit, but he was intentionally made to be sacrificed. His whole being was to fight Jigen, get Isshiki to resurrect out of Jigen, who, like I said, actually benefits Isshiki, and as well as Amado, if, he's in on this as well, who I believe he's in on this. Now, what went wrong in this whole plan? Well, Naruto escapes Boruto's custody. Now, this is at the point where Naruto is kidnapped by Jigen and is sent to that little pod spot. And I say that went left, like him escaping was not supposed to happen, because initially, if we go back, Isshiki just drops him off and then is like, all right, now I'm dipping, y'all. And then motherfucking Sasuke comes out the cut, kicks him, and now he has to fight. Now he's in a position where he's fighting. But I also say this because, one, when Amado enters the Leaf Village, his intention was to meet with Shikamaru. He had no idea that Naruto would even be there, because before he even leaves, he's talking to Koji. He's like, all right, Boruto's guarding the Hokage, and Code is out with the Ten Tails. So, hey, it's one-on-one for you and Jigen. Go handle your business, bruh. Go do your thing. And which is why he immediately goes to Shikadai and takes Shikadai hostage. It was planned, bruh. Point number two. So, before I get to point two, so now that we have Naruto, who Isshiki himself decided he would take and kidnap, we also have Sasuke, who was out of the village at the time, because Amado, I left you some coordinates. Yeah, I did that on purpose so you could find Ten Tails. So during this time, Sasuke was at the Ten Tails lair, and eventually they do reunite, because he ends up finding out where Naruto is, runs towards Naruto, and then we see him battling it out with Isshiki. Now, on to point 6. And before I get there, let me just restate this. Jigen's whole point was to just leave Naruto there and let Boruto guard him. That was it. If you reread that chapter, he wasn't even trying to fight Naruto. He was just like, all right, doses, nigga, and then he ends up getting kicked by Sasuke. Now, this is where I'm gonna start talking about Code. Code, the savior of, this whole Kara plan, is not Toby. Because people like to say, oh, he's like Toby, he's just like Toby was, acting a little goofy, but he's the real true villain. I don't think people think that no more. He's not Toby, but he is Obito. And I say that because similar to how Madara was fucking mind-fucking Obito, getting him to, be on his side and shit, the same thing is going on with Code, right? So he is being manipulated right now, currently, into believing he will become a god, when in actuality, he is more likely than not a chess piece for Ishiki's resurrection, a calculated move by Isshiki in case the plan maybe went wrong somewhere. And just as we have seen, these people calculate errors, right? So they kind of knew that something could go wrong with the whole transfer of the vessel, and error was calculated for, but, to Jigen, he was like, yo, dog, this is still unacceptable, my nigga Victor. You got some explaining to do. But although I would say Code probably would have been loyal to the plan from the jump. I don't think they're really necessarily calculating loyalty in their plans. It's more so calculating their enemy, calculating the Leaf Village, Naruto, Sasuke. What are they going to be going down? What are we going to have to do when it comes to them and our threat? Those are our biggest threats right now as being Kara. And then on to my 7th point, I want to start talking about the Karma Seal, this new white karma and its possible spiritual connection, right? So when Kawaki had his Karma Seal, Jigen Isshiki was able to teleport physically to wherever Kawaki was, right? Physically, as his real body. Now that he's dead, we see him being able to teleport spiritually to Code. Now, I'm not necessarily, like, maybe he has it in Code's mind, like, all right, I'm dead, this is the last of me, more as a motivational thing to get this motherfucker to get up, be wild, and go do your motherfucking thing, bruh. But, he also is guiding him through this whole plan, right? I said that through his motivation, right? So, and then one weird thing about Code's Karma Seal is it did not vanish. Like, we've learned about the Karma Seal. If someone resurrects all your other fucking karmas that you, or if I put you on Karma Seal, right? But I resurrect through this other motherfucker I got on Karma, everyone else who has it should vanish. Code's, however, did not vanish. So, there's something going on with that. I don't know if Amado knows more about it. Did they kind of get scientific with the shit or not? And then 8, Boruto was the shortcut. Now, I believe Isshiki could have just used Boruto to feed the motherfucker, like feed 10 tails, and then ate the chakra fruit and been cool as Isshiki himself. And then if he wanted to, maybe give fucking Kawaki a Karma Seal and then fed that motherfucker and then ate 2 chakra fruits. I don't know if that would have worked like that. Maybe just kill off fucking Kawaki. You don't need him no more. But when they figured that Boruto had the Karma Seal, they were like, oh shit, this changes everything. This actually helps us. We could go faster with our plan now. We don't have to go through all these fucking loops, which I just explained, where Jigen has to be sacrificed. And then now I gotta find a motherfucker to beat my ass and, all this shit. And I say they got the Leaf Village involved because you're not just gonna fucking plant a big ass fucking chakra fruit plant and then just get to the work, bro. You're gonna be stopped before you could even get to that. So you gotta get your threats in order, handle them motherfuckers, and then do what you gotta do at the end of the day. But let me know what y'all think. I'm pretty sure that's something, like, as far as how Kawaki gets his Karma Seal again, I don't know. We gonna have to figure that shit the fuck out. But as far as what Isshiki goes, what information that we got, and what's been going down so far, this is the best I could come up with. I believe that some of this shit it gotta be true, bro. Like, I'm running with this shit, and I just wanted to post this. Peace, y'all niggas. I'm in the back, I'm in the back and shit. But take care, y'all niggas. Bye.